It's really hard to fathom, man. I was like just numb to the whole situation, not believing what had just transpired in that courtroom. Um, it was just a total circus. People were disgusted. Right before they had found me guilty, right before the jury had went into deliberation, Judge James C. Davis, he told the jurors that he had a prior judicial commitment, and the jury went in deliberation that Monday. But being the Labor Day weekend, he told the jury that he wanted to try to win this case over because of prior judicial engagements, and he wants this trial to be over before the week's out. And once the jury went in deliberation on the last day, my last day of my trial went 18 and a half hours. 18 and a half hours, man. Not the regular 8 to 5. At 5 o'clock, he told the jury to go back in there and deliberate. Then he called them back out like 10:05 that night. Court is actually still going on. The judge is mad. He said, as like I've informed you on Monday morning and the time element, you all are taking absolutely longer than what is required. Y'all need to go back in there and make a decision. They go back in there and take me back into the bullpen, come back an hour later and find me guilty. All because of his prior judicial commitments that following Monday for the Labor Day weekend. It was just a circus, man. Couldn't nobody believe what actually went on. They said marathon court session finally ends, and so do jurors. The jurors was even up there nodding when they were on the stand. Mine was the first time in North Carolina history that went 18 and a half hours the last day. It was a big write-up in the newspaper, and everybody was furious about what was going on in that courtroom. And that district attorney, Gary Goodman, he was the prosecutor in my trial. They barred him for holding evidence in murder trials. He couldn't even do a murder trial no more. They barred him, but he still was able to be an attorney. But this was the man that back in 1985 that prosecuted me for breaking and entering, and he was the prosecutor in this murder trial. He hid all that evidence. He did everything he could to get me convicted, but my trial was nothing but a circus. It was nothing but a circus. And when I got found guilty and I was back there in the bullpen, my attorney, David Dansby and Ramalis Murphy, they wouldn't even let both of them represent me at the same time in the courtroom. When you're facing murder, the charges that I had, you're required to have two attorneys represent you, but they only let one attorney represent me, and the other one had to sit there and be quiet. But he was only able to do the arguments at the end. But when I was back there in that bullpen, both of them came back there and they was like, man, we cannot believe this. They did not have nothing on you.
Motion.